June 3, 2025. Hopes for peace are vanishing. The drums of war beat louder than ever. Diplomacy has collapsed, replaced by deep mistrust. The world watches, breath held as conflict looms. Every day brings new escalation, words and actions alike. Ukraine fights for survival. Russia, feeling cornered, digs in. The West is more involved than ever, raising the stakes. This is no longer a regional dispute, it threatens to become global. The fear of a wider confrontation is real. Optimism from earlier peace efforts is a distant memory. The language is harsh, positions hardened. Negotiation tables are empty, battle plans take their place. A chilling new chapter is unfolding. How did we get here? The world stands at a dangerous crossroads. The path ahead is dark and uncertain. The chance for peace shrinks by the hour. We must understand the gravity of this moment. Recent peace talks failed. Turkey and the UN tried, but the divide was too deep. Delegates left with hardened faces. Hope collapsed. President Putin blames NATO's expansion and Western support for Ukraine. He frames this as an existential fight for Russia. Meanwhile, provocative statements from Western leaders add fuel to the fire. Trump's remarks about NATO sent shockwaves, raising alarm and confusion. Diplomacy has frozen, trust is gone. Misunderstandings can now escalate rapidly. Each side suspects the other of the worst. There's no safety net, just suspicion and fear. The world is on edge, bracing for the next move. The diplomatic vacuum is dangerous. Every military action now carries extra risk. The crisis deepens with every passing day. Ukraine, pushed to the brink, strikes back. Operation Spider's Web, a massive, coordinated drone assault deep inside Russia. Dozens of drones overwhelm Russian air defenses, targeting airfields and command centers. Advanced navigation and possible stealth tech are in play. The goal: cripple Russia's air force and send a message. Ukraine can hit back. Satellite images reveal damaged bombers, cratered runways. Russia's military pride and capability take a hit. The psychological impact is huge. Ukraine's morale soars, Russia is shocked. The war is brought home to Russia in a new way. Pressure mounts on the Kremlin. Ukraine shows it's not just defending, but adapting. Technology is leveling the battlefield. The strategic cost for Russia could be severe. This marks a turning point in the conflict. The stakes have never been higher. Russia's response is swift and brutal. A massive barrage of drones and missiles rains down on Ukraine. Cities and infrastructure are targeted. Night skies erupt in explosions. Power grids fail. Hospitals struggle. Civilians suffer. The humanitarian crisis deepens. Fear and trauma return. Inside Russia, anger and calls for escalation grow. Nationalists demand harsher measures, even full-scale war. Pressure on Putin intensifies. He must show strength. The Kremlin faces internal discontent. The cycle of attack and retaliation spirals. Each strike pushes both sides further. The suffering of ordinary Ukrainians is immense. The war's brutality is on full display. The risk of uncontrollable escalation grows. The world watches, fearing what comes next. The West steps up support for Ukraine: more advanced weapons, real-time intelligence, and training. Longer-range missiles and sophisticated air defenses arrive. The technological gap narrows. Ukraine's capabilities surge. Moscow sees this as direct Western involvement, a proxy war. Russian officials warn of red lines being crossed. The rhetoric grows more dire, with open talk of nuclear options. Russia claims it's fighting NATO, not just Ukraine. The risk of miscalculation is terrifyingly high. Each new weapons shipment raises the stakes. Western policymakers walk a dangerous tightrope. How far can support go before triggering wider war? Russia's paranoia and threats escalate. The narrative of existential threat takes hold in Moscow. The world edges closer to a point of no return. Every decision now carries global consequences. The UK raises its military readiness, no routine move, but a serious response to rising threats. Troops are on shorter notice, reserves may be called, exercises intensify, surveillance and logistics ramp up. Britain prepares for any contingency. This signals resolve to both allies and adversaries. NATO partners are urged to bolster defenses. Across Europe, anxiety grows. Defense budgets rise, postures shift. The war in Ukraine shattered illusions of peace. A major conflict on European soil is no longer unthinkable. The UK's actions carry symbolic and practical weight. The message: Europe must be ready. Preparations are underway, hoping they'll never be needed. The sense of urgency is real. The continent faces a harsh new reality. The threat is shared, and so is the response. The world braces for what may come. NATO ramps up military drills, bigger, more frequent, involving thousands across land, air, and sea. These exercises test rapid response and interoperability. Article 5, Collective Defense, is at the core. Scenarios mirror real threats including hybrid and cyber warfare. Beneath the surface, nuclear contingency planning is quietly reviewed. NATO's nuclear dimension cannot be ignored. Russia sees these drills as provocative, accusing NATO of escalation. Russian media fuels the narrative of a hostile West. Each side's defensive moves are seen as offensive by the other. The action-reaction cycle intensifies. The risk of miscalculation or accident grows. Tensions rise with every exercise. The line between deterrence and provocation blurs. The world watches anxious for a misstep. The shadow of war looms over every drill. Failed diplomacy, escalating attacks, and hardened positions, each step raises the stakes. Ukraine's bold strikes, Russia's furious retaliation, and Western arms shipments push the crisis further. Britain and NATO prepare for the worst. The world holds its breath, fearing the next move. The window for peace is nearly shut. Both sides believe military victory is possible or necessary. The hope for negotiation fades. The specter of nuclear escalation grows. Russian officials hint at desperate measures if threatened. The nightmare scenario World War III can no longer be dismissed. The future is uncertain, the risks immense. Small missteps could trigger catastrophe. The fate of millions hangs in the balance. The world stands at the brink, praying for wisdom before it's too late.